Hey everybody, I'm doing another narrated Wi-Fi battle here. This one is versus YouTuber MetallicBayleef, and yeah, I got challenged to this battle a couple days ago. I think I'm the one. Yeah, I challenged him. So yeah, here's the battle. And it's a singles battle, and I was just using some um kind of a new, not really kind of new team. The only really new Pokemon that I just recently finished was actually the Typhlosion, so everything else is pretty standard. Um, so yeah, let's get this thing started. No, sorry, I'm just a little too tired. Um, okay, so they lead off with an Abomosnow, and I lead with Milotic. Um, I was actually kind of hoping they would have led with I think I either wanted them to lead with Glaceon or Charizard because Milotic can wall both of those very well, and I can set up screen support. So I'm worried about a Wood Hammer, so I switch out to my Typhlosion. But he actually goes for a really strange Skull Bash for some reason. I don't really know why MetallicBayleef did that, but surprisingly enough, it actually does a decent amount of damage. It does a little under half for that's not bad for not stab actually. So I did get a defense boost, but that's not really gonna help much. And Typhlosion's goes for a flamethrower, easily one hit KO. Was kind of worried about a sash, but it didn't have one, so that's averted. So good, so far so good. Okay, and my Typhlosion is this Typhlosion is actually pretty standard. It's just the typical choice scarf set, but it works and I like it a lot. So I think it's all right. So I switch out my Typhlosion because it's had a Lanturn, so I switch into Gallade, and I'm expecting a Thunder Wave. I was actually expecting either a Thunder Wave or a Hydro Pump or something, so I switched into Gallade because that's good special defense, and it's not a huge deal if it's paralyzed because I'd rather it get paralyzed than something else that's quicker on my team get paralyzed. Um, so yeah, we take hail damage. He has leftovers, so he doesn't really lose anything, and he starts setting up stockpiles, so that's it's a little bad for me, but not really in the actual um moves right here because I um sadly for him, Gallade never got parahaxed versus the Lanturn, so sadly his Lanturn kind of set up for pretty much nothing, but it did take the Leaf Blade thanks to the stockpile, so I guess it wasn't completely for nothing. Um I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but it's coming. So he goes for the Thunderbolt, and Gallade takes that moderately well. So I was gonna go for a Psycho Cut or even a Shadow Sneak to see if maybe he switched into something. I was expecting him to switch into a Charizard to take the Leaf Blade. So I was gonna go for the Psycho Cut, but I'm like, I better not risk it. So I just went for the Leaf Blade again. So yeah, I take more hail damage, and let's see what he brings in next. Okay, he brings in the Hitmonchan, and this thing actually scared me quite a bit. I switch out Gallade because I'm thinking I can save him for Death Fodder later, because he's not much use anymore, so it doesn't really matter now. And sorry, that was a friggin' phone call. I hate it when that happens. So, um, yeah, he goes for a Meteor Mash, and to be perfectly honest, I didn't even know Hitmonchan could learn Meteor Mash. I don't even know if it can, to be honest. It must be able to because it just used it, so like I really had no idea it could learn that though. So I just go for a fake out to get a little bit of damage off because I was actually expecting either a Mach or a Bullet Punch, just priority move of some sort. Because Jynx only has like one hit point now because it took the Meteor Mash and has a Sash. So um, I do risk going for a Psychic, expecting a Mach Punch or something to finish off my Jynx. So I didn't bother switching out because maybe I was thinking that maybe he overpredicted maybe and expected me to switch, but I'm not really sure. So I switched into Charizard. So I switched out my Jynx because I can use it for later because the hail doesn't hurt it because it's Ice type. So that's not a problem. So I just switching my Gallade now is Death Fodder. And he actually sets up a Dragon Dance, so that actually kind of had me a bit surprised there for a second because I don't see many Dragon Dancing Charizards. Um, so yeah, he is +1/+1 now, so it turns into a little bit of a threat right now. So I'm a little bit concerned at this point. So I just go for a Shadow Sneak to get off as much damage as possible because I do have Life Orb, so it will do a bit more damage. And I go down to like little to nothing, and he just finished me off with an Earthquake, so that's end of Gallade. But he did do his job, so that's good. He finished off the Lanturn, and he got a little bit of damage off on that, and he kind of saved another teammate from taking collateral damage, so that's good. Okay, so Charizard's taking a bit of hail damage, and to be honest, the hail is actually working a bit in my favor because, um, it just kind of is. It's kind of just whittling down each one of our Pokemon. It is nice that we both have Ice types, though, and this was actually really a little bit crucial. He went for an outrage on Milotic, critical hitted it. Um that actually had me really worried because that was like the only thing I had on this whole team that could take on the Charizard. So I have nothing else to switch into. I have to switch into my Typhlosion because nothing else can outspeed this thing with +1. Because I'm Choice Scarf, so I gotta pray I can either win the speed tie or just be faster with +1. But luckily I am faster. I go for the Hidden Power Electric, finish off the Charizard, so that's really lucky on my part. I was really worried at that point, because anything that Charizard would have done, it would have easily KO'd my Typhlosion, and I would have had no chance. So he switches in Golduck now. I could stay in and give it another Hidden Power Electric, but Golduck is pretty specially bulky, so I do switch out my Typhlosion to save it for later. So I go into my Altaria, which can take special attacks like no tomorrow. And he goes for the Psychic. I was not expecting a Psychic. I was expecting either a Hydro Pump or perhaps an Ice Beam, maybe predicting my switch, but he does go for the Confuse Ray, so that's not really a big issue. I was actually expecting either a Blizzard or an Ice Beam to finish it off, but Confuse Ray is still pretty good though. Um, I do go for a Dragon Claw. I was just gonna go for the Dragon Dance just to get myself set up because it is a Dragon Dance set. Again, pretty standard, but I do like it a lot. It has this Altaria is max attack. It has Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, Aerial Ace, and Earthquake. So with a Life Orb. So um, yeah, he does critical hit me again with Psychic, so that does finish off me off. Um, I switch him back in Jynx now, so and yeah, I was thinking about giving it a fake out because I was honestly a tad, like a tiny bit worried that Psychic would not KO because Golduck does have a decent amount of special defense, so but luckily for me, Jynx does finish it off with a Psychic, so that's good. Switches into his last Pokemon, Glaceon. I'm really worried at this point that Focus Blast would miss because of Snow Cloak in the hail, but it does hit. It almost KOs. I was actually a little surprised it actually lived that, but Glaceon is really cool Pokemon. It can live stuff, so that's awesome. So we just finished with a Blizzard, so Jynx finally goes down, but Jynx was like a complete boss in this battle. I'm so happy I brought Jynx in this. It did so much for me in this battle. It's just awesome. So I do switch into my Vigoroth now. I'm down to two guys, Vigoroth and Typhlosion. Typhlosion's almost dead, so I just switch into my Vigoroth. Finished off with a Fire Punch. Still a little worried that Fire Punch would miss because of Snow Cloak, so I was still a little bit worried because Glaceon has a huge amount of special attack and could have easily finished off my Vigoroth with a Blizzard, and it would have just been Typhlosion, and if Typhlosion bit the dust, I would have lost. So that was a really close battle. And thank you all for watching. MetallicBayleef's channel will be in the description below. Really good game. I had a lot of fun, and hope we can battle again sometime. We actually had a second battle. I'll upload that tomorrow. Thanks for watching.